Hello Pigeon Flyers. What I wanted to do is show you how to make your own Google map using your own loft location. I'm starting from scratch. If you saw the other video on how I use mine, hopefully this will be helpful for you. So I'm logged into to Google and I'm typing in Google Map. I click these lines over here once the map comes up. And I'm going to go to My Places, select My Places, and then I go to Maps. I don't have any maps down here at the bottom. I'm going to click Create Map. All right, so wherever you are, you're able to find your loft location. And this is just bogus information, but let's say I'm going to change it to satellite view. And this is my loft right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a mark right on my loft. We're going to call that loft. Going to click save. We can edit the style. Let's say we want to make it a star, and we want it to be yellow. All right, so that's my loft location. But in order to get the radius circles, and I think those are real helpful, we need to use a different program. So here I've got the coordinates for where my loft is. And so what you want to do, open a new browser window, and I'm going to go to search for KML circle generator, and it pulls up this first one here, KML for Earth. And you can go through and enter your coordinates. So go back to your map. I'm just going to copy the latitude and paste it. And then I'm going to copy the longitude and paste it. And you can change this to miles, you can change it to kilometers, you can change it to anything you want. You can change the color. Let's say we want our lines to be yellow. Let's say we want 5 miles. So then you're going to click Generate Circle. And then let's say we want one at 10 miles, Generate Circle. One at 20 miles, Generate Circle. One at 30 miles, Generate Circle. And we could even go 1 to 50 miles, Generate Circle. All right, so then we go back to Google Maps. So this is our map. I'm going to change the name of our map to Pigeon. Click Save. And I'm going to add a layer. And then we come here to Import. And we're going to import the layer that we just created on that other website. Drag and drop, and it's going to put that circle in. It's got to think about it for a sec. There's a circle, 5-mile circle around my loft. It automatically creates a center point. I'm going to get rid of the center point because I don't need it. All right, so that's the 5 mile. Let's add the others. So we create another layer. Go to Import, and I'm just dragging it up there. And this is going to create our 10-mile circle. Okay, going to add a layer. Import. This is going to be our 20-mile. That didn't work. Let's try it again. Import. There we go, there's our 20-mile. We're going to add another layer. Click Import. This is going to be our 30-mile radius. And let's do the last one, a 50-mile radius. I'm going to click Add a Layer, Import. All right. So I explained kind of how I use this in the other video. I'll put a link to that in the description just so we don't have to go through that again. But what you can do then is we can rename this top layer, and let's call it radius. And then we can move these circles into the same layer, and then delete one of the layers. So I'm just clicking on it and I'm dragging it up to the next layer. Clicking on it and dragging it up to the next layer. One more. Click and drag. There we go. So they're all on the same layer, and then we can delete these other layers because we don't need them. All right. All right. So there we have our loft with radius circles going around our loft. So we can add our training points. So I'm going to add a layer, and we're going to rename this layer 2022 Young Bird Tosses. Save it, and then you can come in and you could add those points. So let's say here's our first toss. Let's say we make it here from the golf course, and we did that April 15th. All right, so then you have all your tosses on there. I think it's helpful to have a layer of your race stations. So race stations, save it, and then wherever your race stations are, maybe they're flying north and south, I don't know. So let's say here's the first race station, and you can change the colors, you can do anything you want. This is the next race station. There's the next race station. So you can add your race stations in there. And if you want to have a line of flight directly to your loft, we can turn off the tosses, create a line, and sorry, that's over here. Add a line. All right. And what that line represents is the furthest east station and the furthest west station. And we're going to call this line of flight. Oh, I deleted my line. Let's do that one more time. Create my line here, down to there, down to there. Line of flight. Click save. All right. So what this represents is the path on race day that your birds are gonna be in here. So the most of your training is going to be in there. Again, watch the other video for that information. All right, but we know when we release a bird on a race, they don't all come to our loft. So let's add a layer, and let's type club members. Come on. Club members, save it. And then come in here, and you can either enter the addresses up here in the search bar, or you can find their lofts on Google Maps. It's easier just to enter, you know, their address, West Harding Way, in Stockton. You know, there it is. So there's one of the guys in the loft is added, and add to map, and there he is, West Harding Way. You know, you could drop other pins in there for your other loft mates. Why is that helpful? You could do the combine if you wanted to. I did my combine members as well, and then what you could do is have a line going from the furthest east and the furthest west loft. And what that does is gives you an idea. Line of flight, we'll call this club. What that does is give you an idea of where your birds could potentially be coming on race day. You know, and you can kind of figure out a breaking point. Obviously, the more club and combine members you have, this could be bigger. I mean, it could be out here if you have lofts scattered a little further. It kind of depends on your concentration of flying, but on race day, this is the path the birds are going to come down. Anyway, kind of a long video. Hopefully that's helpful, but you can make your own pigeon training video with Google Maps. Take care.